Hello, my friends. This is Dr. Ginny Baro, and welcome to today's training. I was having a conversation with one of the members of the Fearless Leadership Mastermind. They each get 4 private coaching sessions with me, in addition to the 12 masterminds and group coaching sessions that they also receive throughout the first 6 months of our program. And when I was having my VIP call with this member, who's, of course, talented and high performing and high achieving, she wanted to coach on this topic that I want to bring to you because I think many of you may also struggle with this. And her question was, Ginny, how do I motivate a team who may not be so motivated? What a great question. And so here's what we covered during our coaching. How do we do this? The number one step in looking to motivate your team is to seek to understand them. I believe it was Stephen Covey who said, seek first to understand, then to be understood. The number one job that we can do as leaders and as managers of a team is to make sure that we understand what drives each of the members on our team. And if this sounds like a lot of work, it doesn't have to be. The first question I asked her was, do you meet with your team regularly? Do you meet with them individually? And what is that cadence? The reason why I asked her that is because that would give us a clue as to the opportunity that she has to have those one-on-one conversations with her team and really get to understand them better. And she indicated that the meetings have not really been that often or that frequent. Those meetings with your teams are going to give you the opportunity to understand what are their drivers, what motivates them, what are their challenges, what are they looking forward to, what do they need support with. Those conversations need to happen to understand our team better. The conversation went on, and we continue to speak about the only things that she can control in these situations. So what we can control is understanding them, asking them empowering questions, what or how questions that will lead us to get to know them on a whole new level. If we are not making the time for that, that is precious and an opportunity cost that you're paying for not doing that. Because in the long term, it's going to enable you to truly engage them and to get the team to perform and deliver on the product, solutions, and services that you are there to provide. And so this is a great investment that you are making in yourself and in your team and in the success of the organization. Understanding someone means that you really know what drives them. And one of the skill sets that I teach the members of the Fearless Leadership Mastermind is understanding the human needs. And I've covered many videos where I talk about the human needs. In this particular case, what we learned is that the driving force for her team right now is certainty. And the reason for that is that they have been in their roles for many, many years. They are not necessarily motivated by growth and contribution. They want to be able to coast for the rest of their career, which they have a few years left. I'm talking maybe a handful of years. And so how do you motivate your talent when what they really want is certainty? Likewise, you could also discover that your team is about adventure and variety and uncertainty, or that your team members mostly value significance, which is that human need, or that they really want connection or growth or contribution. Every person is going to be motivated differently. So your job as the manager and leader is to uncover what is my team's needs profile. And we can do that by listening to the words they use, by noticing what they share. And from that information, you can glean one of Ginny's primary needs is growth. She's always talking about the course she's taking or how she's learning something new, like she's learning French, or how she loves to teach whatever it is that she's learning and how she loves to share that information with others. that all tells me that Ginny is about growth. If, on the other hand, you notice that the person's speaking about how they enjoy recognition they received or how somebody told them what a great job they did, then that kind of leads you to believe that this person's one of their primary needs may be significance, right? And so once you understand your team's needs profile, you can then tailor your messages to that team member in a way that resonates with them, in a way that it lands for them. So for example, my clients is about growth and contribution. And so when she was speaking to her team, she was speaking from the terms of the team is going to grow, we're going to be able to contribute to the organization. And when the people that are listening to that message are about certainty and keeping their jobs and coasting, growth and contribution just does not land. So when we began to practice what kind of message she could craft around certainty, the whole game changed. She then got it, click, because she's really smart, and she began to share with me how she could tailor her message so that it speaks to how following through on what they are doing for work, how being proactive at work in their roles can enhance the team's security, can enhance how much work they receive from the rest of the organization and the company, and how it can elevate their work because of increasing and improving customer service. And so all of a sudden, her message is now completely different from what it used to be. And each person in her team who is high on certainty is going to see how come they need to step up and they need to embrace the changes that she's going to now implement within the group. And that's how we motivate a group or a team who may not be so motivated. Notice that we tend to go at the problem from our own perspective. I'm into growth, I'm into contribution, that's how I'm going to approach it. Instead of what is it that drives them, what motivates them, what is the cost they will pay if things don't go as they plan? What do they fear most? What do they desire most? And when you really think about those things, about each person on your team, then you gain a whole new level of self-awareness and social awareness about their needs, their emotions, and where they're at. And when you position your message, knowing that that's your audience, you're going to tailor that message so that it lands, so that your vision, so that the goals that you have for the team can be translated in their language. Basically, what we did during our coaching session is focus on, number one, understand them first. Number two, speak their language. And number three is what I'm going to cover now. Number three is about courage. The courage to know that there are things that we can control and that we get to influence, such as, what do I say to my team? How do I behave with my team? How do I encourage them? How do I give them constructive feedback? How do I remove obstacles for them to do their job? How do I make sure that I'm sharing the vision and mission? And the other aspect that's really important as it relates to having courage and learning and retooling as a leader yourself is that when we make requests from our team members, we can control how we relay that message in terms of the content. So here's what I mean. If you tell me, Ginny, I need to have this task completed, thank you, and then you walk away. First of all, on my end, I'm thinking, okay, she needs these tasks completed, and I'm going to get to them when I get to them. And then the next day or a couple of days later, you come back and you say, Ginny, how are those tasks doing? Are they complete? And I say, actually, they're not, because I had other things that I was taking care of. So I can control what I ask Ginny when I ask her for something, such as, Ginny, I need you to finish these tasks and we would like to have them done by Friday. How is that feasible for you? And then the answer for me would be, yes, that's feasible. Or I would say, actually, I have a deadline with so and so. And so I can't get them done Friday, but I can get them done Monday. Now you're setting the expectation. So you as a leader and manager need to improve your communication skills to ensure that your team is receiving clear guidance from you. It's easy to be disappointed when we don't see the outcome that we're looking for. And the question to ask ourselves is, how can I improve my communication so that my expectation is clear, it's known, and that also I get buy-in from my team member to ensure that that's going to work for them, because I don't want to make assumptions that they have nothing else to do. As a matter of fact, I would expect that they have many other things to do other than what I just assigned them. And so as a leader, we get to have the courage to learn, continue to grow our skill sets. And part of that is improving our communication skills and being more clear, setting the boundaries, setting the expectations that we have. And then if our team member is not able to meet those deadlines, we can have a compelling conversation around what is happening, what's getting in the way of them completing those assignments. Notice I'm asking empowering questions, what or how questions. So we remove the judgment of why didn't you get it done? Why questions are typically not empowering. On the opposite, they are actually very judgmental questions, unless you're asking why is that important to you. Typically, do not use why questions. Turn them into what or how questions. So once you find out what's getting in the way because they did not complete the assignment, then you can have an honest conversation with them around making sure that they come to you when they run into snags, ensuring that they communicate with their stakeholders if there is a piece of information that they're waiting on, that they are able to communicate with other stakeholders who were expecting something from them. And as a result of this new assignment, they have to reprioritize the old assignment. All of this is what we have control over. And to do this, to learn, to continue to grow, to continue to advance, not necessarily in the org chart, but as a leader, to continue to evolve your skills, it takes a lot of courage. And so, my friends, I'm inviting you today to have the courage to continue to develop yourself, to continue to know that you have so much potential and that you are going to tap into as much of that potential based on how willing you are to bet and invest in yourself. So, learning, educating yourself, listening to podcasts, listening to these training videos, this is all part of you investing and betting in yourself. And if you are not only listening, but also implementing, you're going to see results. You're going to see yourself continuing to grow and becoming the leader that you have the potential to be. All of us have a lot of potential. And if you're finding yourself stuck in a place where you're not advancing, where you're not growing, when you don't feel like you're contributing to the best of your ability, that means that something's preventing you from tapping into your full potential. And my experience has been that the number one culprit is ourselves. We prevent ourselves from tapping into our full potential. And then once you realize that you are not the person getting in the way, let's identify what actually is getting in your way. And let's ensure that we have a conversation, that we strategize around this so that you can continue to evolve as the leader that you are. And that's my training for today. So remember, whenever you're running into conflicts, whenever there is a team member who isn't motivated, whenever you are in a situation where there is a disagreement or a misalignment, the number one job that we as leaders have is to, number one, understand what's going on, understand them first. Then number two, speak their language. And number 3, have the courage to grow yourself and to have those empowering conversations with your team members to guide them and support them with the resources they need to do the best they can and to perform at their best. And that's how we perform at our best. So that's my job, to help you with this topic today. I am so grateful that you are part of my community, part of the Executive Bound community. And if you are willing and able to invest in yourself and to bet on yourself, I will ask you to join me this July 10th through the 14th at the Fearless Leaders Challenge. This is a leadership training for women who are ready to take themselves to the next level. And one of my mentors, Fabian, used to say, new level, new devil. So if you've been in my trainings before and you're now in a whole different situation, come back to the training. If you are new and you've never participated in any of my Fearless Leaders Challenges before, welcome. And all you have to do is go to fearlessleaderschallenge.com to register and save your seat. And by all means, please share this information, this valuable resource, with any other talented, high-performing leader in your trusted circle of friends and colleagues. I look forward to seeing you. Live with purpose, live with joy.